Welcome to today's episode. Remember, hit that like, subscribe button, send this video to a friend. Let's try to make it happen, guys. All right. Now let me just wait for the boys to. What's
What's
going
that?
on? You did get your hair done. I was like, he
I
wears a
did.
hat. Why is
I
he got
got
to
a
do his
fucking
hair?
mullet. Yeah.
Nice.
Nicely done.
That looks
Mm.
clean. Looks clean.
Yeah. Figured, always down to try something new.
Yeah. No, I like it.
I didn't have them cut any of this back down. So right now it's
Yeah.
like a full on front and back. There's like no cohesion. So
Are you gonna try to maintain the kind of just what you got now, the curl part? Or are you gonna do the whole Peaky Blinders like I
no,
did when I had
I did
mine?
it to keep the curls. When I
Okay.
grew my hair out in Colorado, I just had the crazy, never took care of it look.
Yeah.
And so I've been growing out the back for about a month or two now, or a couple months now, and just this is a little bit less maintenance than just kind of letting it grow out and having to take care of the full head. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm gonna get this cleaned up so it's actually more of like a continuous. And the guy that I went to didn't fade this in very well, so I got to go find another barber, but we'll get there.
Oh well. Well, how was Greg? How was your Valentine's? Do they do that? Is that a big thing over there?
Yeah, they did it. Actually, I had the day off. Sunny worked, so it was our first sunny day in like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Wow.
So I woke up in the morning and I went out and just fucked around in the yard for like 3 or 4 hours, and then did some laundry. And Sunny was working all day on the computer, and I just was watching football. We watched some of the rugby has a pretty big national tournament going on, so we watched a couple of those games, and then started a new season of Love Is Blind with the wife on Netflix.
Nice.
I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, but that's the one show I will not watch with Devin.
It's
Nope.
for me.
She watched
It's
every season,
yeah.
every episode, and I'm just like, no.
For me, it's perfect because I don't like it's normally on when I'm working, and Sunny's just chilling on the
Gotcha.
couch, so just background noise. But what about you?
There's
Nothing much. Devin actually in her industry working in the massage and all that. This is a busy weekend for her. So she actually had to go to work today, which is why I was up around this morning. I told Preston, I woke up and I was like, okay, yeah. All right. Last second, forgot. Let's get you to the
Oopsie.
office. But we're going to go out for dinner tonight after she gets off work, do sushi and stuff. So
Yes.
gifts to the kids, flowers, chocolates, things like that. Devin's parents, one of the things they're too much a lot of the time. And when it comes to just like every single excuse for a holiday, they're sending us packages of stuff to give out. They sent
what
me
parents
like
do.
Valentine's stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's not. I mean, I don't have any kids of my own yet, but all of my nieces and nephews. That's
yeah,
my mother. Everything. What day is it?
yeah.
Tuesday, and it
That
was
Tuesday.
breezy.
Yeah.
So yeah, what I've kind of had to come to with some of the holidays, kind of get to just a comfortability, because like in the beginning when I first gotten with Devin and her family, and kind of getting used to in-laws, I had to kind of put aside my own, in a way, like beliefs, because like I grew up, I mean, 6 kids, 3 boys, 3 girls, but Valentine's was something my dad would always give gifts to my sisters. Like it was I never thought, when I got older, Valentine's came around, I was like, all right, I give a gift for my girlfriend and then
Right.
wife, whatever. Like it's not, guys don't get gifts. Like that's not a thing. So when they first started giving me gifts years ago, I was kind of like, this is weird. we don't do this. Landon, let me raise you right, boy. This is not your holiday. So I've kind of had to be a little bit more flexible with that.
I mean, it's just another candy holiday for kids when it comes down to it, right? It's
Oh yeah.
it's pre-Easter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to me it's just candy and it's all heart-shaped shit. So there
Yep.
you have it. Easter eggs are next.
Right around the corner. All right. Well, it's been a little bit since our last video, and we'll kind of flow through something. I went ahead and wrote some things down to get there. So another week, another celebrity death, James Vanderbeek. I don't know if
Yeah, that was
anybody
wild.
grew up watching him. I did not. So, but Devin once again did, so she was devastated. But I guess he had been battling cancer and stuff for a while.
Yeah, I had no idea what that. My introduction to Vanderbeek was like most people's, Dawson's Creek. And for me,
Yeah.
the only reason I was kind of watching is because I had older brothers. But I think for most middle age, are we middle aged men now?
Yes, yes, we're
Most
milling it.
millennial men,
You
probably the thing he's most well known for is Moxon from Varsity Blues.
Yes.
mm,
And that would make sense, Josh, that you wouldn't. I don't know if you still have ever seen that movie. Um,
I haven't.
for those of us whose parents were a little less strict, um, uh, it was like a high school football movie from I think like 96, 97 when it came out.
I
Mhm.
think
The
so.
reason I remember that was we had I
99.
think 99. It was we had so I was like I think we were in like fifth grade, something like that. And I can't remember, it was for one of our buddies' birthdays, their parents took us to go see it. And but it was like a everybody else don't tell your parents that we're going to see that movie. And so we went, and Patch Adams was out at the same time. And so our neighborhood friend Josh, I'll leave
Yeah.
out last names in case, you know, to
In case his
protect. Yeah.
parents are wondering what he did.
Right. um, but no, so we went and saw it. Then the next day after we have the sleepover and stuff, me and my buddy are playing at his house, playing basketball outside, and him and his parents come storming to our buddy's house and is just like, "You took my kid to go see that movie," and it was pretty good.
That 99 was the same movie, so same experience. 99, The Matrix came out, and
Mm.
I was taken by my friend Andrew, and we will leave his last name out, and his parents, and was also explicitly told not to tell my parents that I went to that. So yeah, that 99 was the time for going to movies when you probably shouldn't be, I guess.
Well, I did not have friends, parents growing up who
I thought you were just gonna stop it. I did not have friends. I was like, all right, well, moving on to the next topic.
I mean, there is a case for that too. But anyway,
definitely.
that's a different day.
Well, I
Yeah,
didn't
no, when
realize.
Devin
Sorry,
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say my when Devin brought it up, I was like, the crying meme, like whenever I type in crying as a meme, is that that's that the face? And Devin's like, yes, that's who it is. And I was like,
I
oh,
didn't
okay.
I didn't realize that he married Stacy Keibler
Yeah.
from WWE fame.
Yep.
Mm.
She got a lot of looks from me when I was in that growing stage.
What was growing, Greg?
Well, it was PG. Well, cheers, boys. Forgot that.
Yeah.
Keeping it real.
Cheers.
Keeping it real. Yep.
What's everybody sipping on?
I'll go
Vodka
first.
lemonade.
All right,
Raspberry
I'll go
tea.
second. Vietnamese coffee with a little bit of
Ooh,
coffee liqueur in it.
Nice. Got a little Erdinger Weiss beer.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
nice.
a good one.
Yeah, I've got the Francis Connor lined up behind it, but little
Yeah.
Sunday fun day, figured I'd splurge instead of my 30-cent Sagrish that I normally drink.
Hey, as long as it gets you there, that's
Yeah.
the important part.
There you go.
We had the Super Bowl last week.
Which halftime show did y'all watch?
There was only one that I was aware of.
Exactly.
My name is Kid. Sorry.
I will be honest, because obviously, the following day I go into work and about half my coworkers are talking about their halftime experience and and everything. I am totally on board for more companies and more people doing alternative halftime shows. Just don't start your advertising and promoting of it by being divisive and saying, well, we're doing it because the other side is XYZ.
Yeah.
An issue.
It's all fine and good to like make the Super Bowl halftime show like some pick your entertainment flavor, right? But it has to be in the guise of entertainment, not what the
Just combative, yeah. I mean, and Sonny and I, we stayed up and watched the first half of the game and then watched the halftime show. Maybe because it was 3 a.m. and I was like, oh yeah, well, I mean, wasn't my cup of tea, but like again, I'm not in any uproar. I mean, I think the funny stuff is like people saying that it's, nasty and blasphemy and gross. Like I think the last what 7 or 8 have been like like rappers with their words edited or cut out and stuff like that. So it's like
I've not seen a halftime show in the last that I can remember that I didn't have a bunch of people on Facebook coming out the next day talking about how terrible and,
Yeah,
you
there's not
know,
been a halftime
sinful
show
or
that
something,
your dad would not have allowed you to watch, like, in the foreseeable past that we have had.
Growing up when we did start watching the Super Bowl, because that wasn't a thing we watched until the Panthers and Patriots played, which was also the Janet Jackson
Yes,
and, that one.
core memories.
always.
I was in a church
Watched it
youth
later on
group watching
YouTube.
that one.
Oh, really? Nice.
They cut that TV
My
real quick.
family would always turn the Super Bowl off at halftime and then turn it. They would have a clock and they would push that timer, and then 30 minutes later they'd turn it back on.
So what did you do for halftime, though?
My parents would throw halftime, or not halftime, but Super Bowl parties. Like we would have all our other
Okay.
church people come, and they would still cut it off. And the other 5 families are like, "Oh yeah, good. Thank you for protecting us." It was so weird.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
the reality is, like, as musical acts, like, it's never like a great concert. Like,
No.
very rarely do live music performances translate well, no matter the genre
correct.
in that setting. I'd say the last one that I like enjoyed was I think it was like 2013, maybe 2013, 2014 Super Bowl when Prince performed.
Yeah.
Um, that was
I think a lot of
really
people still
great.
consider that one of the
Yeah.
best.
But I mean, other than that, like I could ramble off a bunch of people, but I like, nope, nope. I mean, what was it like 5 or 6 years ago? They had J Lo and Shakira. Like,
Yeah,
I thought
with Bad
I
Bunny.
thought the Weekends was pretty good in 2021,
Mhm.
I believe it was. Just a story behind it of how, because most of the time the artists have to put forward basically the money. Like
Everything.
they're getting the free publicity, right? So the artists are the ones who are paying for the majority of the setup and structure of a halftime show. And the Weeknd had put millions into his, and
Correct.
just the setup of it was, again, a lot of it didn't translate from his normal music, but I thought it was a good show.
No, I mean, it's a big artistic endeavor,
Yep.
and it's what we see on the TV is a lot different than what people see there at the
Oh, yeah,
stadium.
for sure.
Like what we're seeing is actually clean shots and things like that. Whereas people in the stadium, it's even worse.
People in the stadium just
'Cause
saw people walking around
there's bushes.
dressed as grass,
that was pretty great. I enjoyed that. I mean, seeing Jessica Alba out there is always
Yeah.
she's an all-time
Yep.
dime. So that's always
Yeah.
nice to
She
see.
was one of my
Agreed.
first.
Agreed.
Well, I mean, if we talk about the game itself, I mean, that was a bit of a snooze fest for a Super Bowl.
Terrible.
I mean, I was grateful the outcome wasn't a Patriots win.
You and the
But-
rest of the world, bro.
Yeah,
But
bandwagon
it was
central.
definitely a defensive game on the Seahawks for the first half, and then still a defensive game in the second half. But at least the Seahawks offense came alive finally because they weren't putting up points either.
Yeah, it was a boring watch. Not that Lauren and I ever watched the Super Bowl, but we had gone over to a friend's house and watched it there. We just like
And that's the
snacks, snacks and drinks.
Super Bowl parties. That's the main thing of it. Unless your team's playing in it,
Yeah. Well, and
That's the fun part
I
of it.
think you're being generous, and a lot of people are being generous by saying it was a defensive game when it was, especially the first half, two really non-functioning offenses.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that same weekend, we had the opening ceremony and then the start of the Olympics. So I don't know if any of you guys, I know Greg out there in Portugal, I don't know how big Olympics are probably out there compared to Portugal. Portugal's probably got a team.
So I'm generally all about like any sort of Olympics, just because it's sports that you don't see too often and stuff. Transparently, I haven't watched 1 second of the Olympics this year, and it's 1 hour ahead of me.
All right, time to cut off the feed.
I might try to make sure and see when the next U.S. hockey game is.
Okay.
Because I would imagine we've got to be getting pretty close to the medal rounds.
I think we're 2 games out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, outside of that, I haven't watched 1 second of it. I do regarding Portugal, it's not big. I think we do have one athlete in like cross country skiing from
Okay,
representing Portugal. I don't know, Preston might be looking it up on
I'm looking it up right now.
Gemini. But yeah, I think maybe just one. No, I've been super tuned in. We've had our local footy clubs had a couple big matches the last few weeks.
gotcha.
Between that and just working and stuff like that, I haven't had a chance. What about you guys?
All day, every day.
Yeah, we put it on. The kids like watching it. And Quad God, the oh,
Ilya,
yes,
whatever his last name is.
Malinin, I believe his
I think
last
so.
name.
Yeah,
It's hard to pronounce, but he's been great to watch. The fact that they banned a backflip on
yeah,
ice skates many years ago, and then they finally lifted the ban, and he's doing it, and landing one-footed. I mean, it's insane to watch. So
So
old
he's a
Quad
figure
God,
skater.
yeah,
yeah.
it's
They
pretty wild to watch.
quad god as in like his quads are just, or is he doing like
No,
4 backflips in a row?
he's
He can
doing
do a specific
most of
jump.
his routine is like 4 spins. So there's, triple axles and all that. Most of the rest of it, aside from the backflip, which is like his main thing as he's closing out a routine, is 4 spins. And some of them are like 4 spins back to back. Like he'll do one that's 4 and then another. It's just insane to watch.
Yeah,
He got gold,
and
I think, already. So
he got gold in the team. I think he got gold in the second, like just single. But I know he missed out on this last one where
yeah,
he kind of fell under the pressure.
yep.
It's what he called. Which I mean, hey, it happens. He's young. He's like
He's really young. He's 21.
21. Yeah, so he's got a lot of bright future ahead of him.
Yep.
But yeah, it is interesting, cause especially like with figure skating, because that's probably the sport I watched the most in the Olympics, and a lot of their routines and stuff they perform at the Olympics, they've already performed it several times throughout the years at state,
Championships.
championships, countries, things like that. And so yeah, when he came into the Olympics and they're talking about him, the reason for that nickname, like Preston said, the jumps that he's doing, no one else in competition so far has even attempted the jumps that he does.
Yeah.
So like he's the only one that does them. So if he does it and lands it, it's like an automatic win for him because no one else can do it. It's kind of like Shaun White in the snowboarding back when he was showing up and they'd be like, all right, he's going to do this thing we've never heard of before, and
Yeah.
Yeah, now there's
So-
14-year-olds from
doing
Japan
those.
crushing that sport.
Yeah,
Those
Yep.
guys are
it's crazy.
insane. I did see. This was like last week, so I don't know. I did see like for like the first time there was like the mixed curling, like men's and women's,
Mm-hmm.
made it to the gold medal match, or did they win? Did they lose?
I think they got silver. They got silver.
Yeah, they win.
Yeah, it was a close match though.
Yeah, I did see Lindsay. She broke her leg. Lindsey Vonn.
They're talking about her potentially having to have it amputated.
Oh, I saw it was Sonny and I were watching BBC News this morning, and they were like kind of talking about it, and they brought up a photo of her from inside in the hospital there in Italy, and it's called an external fixator. Essentially,
Yep.
whenever I know it well from breaking my leg, but fortunately, it was like all down right above the ankle. But I mean, this thing was essentially the purpose of it is it keeps the muscles and tendon and everything extended and stretched while the swelling's going down before the actual surgery itself. And like mine was kind of small titanium, went from like middle of the shin down. Hers was for all the way from her ankle up to her hip, and she had multiple
Yeah.
of the bars going through. It's the most unsettling feeling. Like Sunny, she used to piss me off. I'd be laying down in bed, and because so it was like a triangle, and I broke my leg right above the ankle, and so I had one titanium bar going directly through my heel was the base, and then there was two that came up to my shin, and then they were like wing nutted into my shin to keep everything in place. And she would just sit in bed and like flick the titanium one that was in my heel, and you could just kind of feel it. I mean, super like light, like you could barely feel it, and it was almost probably
Yeah.
phantom, more so like thinking of it, but like it just felt like the tiniest little vibration. And I was like, son of a bitch. But yeah, seeing like
Yeah.
hers was from like her hip all the way down. So I said that
Yeah.
because you bring up like there's potentially amputation. Like apparently she went out on a torn like MCL or ACL,
Correct.
Mhm.
like new going
She
in.
she had a wreck, a week before or a week and a half before the Olympics was in, and that's where she tore or broke ACL or something else back there. I mean, again, it's kinda like, I'm not a professional, so what do I know? But I'm like, somebody should have stepped in. She should have taken that as a sign of,
Gotta know when to hang it
"Don't
up,
do it."
man.
Yep, but
It's
Well,
she
hard.
was like, "No, I
yeah.
can still push through it."
Well, I think with Olympians too, more specifically than like a professional athlete and stuff like that. Now, like skiers and a lot of those like more frequent sports
Yeah,
that are more frequent like Olympic sports. But she's like so accomplished. Like I would understand it more from
correct.
somebody. Now this is kind of getting into the skier nerd of me, the snow sports nerd from being out in Colorado, because both of them grew up and trained in
Mhm.
Vail where and in Breckenridge where I was living. Uh, where like with Lindsay, she's won the gold medal multiple times at the
Correct.
Olympics, and
Yeah.
she's won all of the world tours and stuff like that. Where juxtaposed to that is Michaela Schifrin, who has won everything under the sun except the Olympics. It's like
Except
she's
Olympics.
Yeah.
almost got like the yips like you get in baseball and golf,
Yeah.
where just there's something about that competition. So I would just my own personal thinking, I would think it would make more sense for Michaela to push herself if she
Yeah.
had
Mhm.
like a known injury to still go get that elusive medal where
Yeah.
Lindsay's kind of already proven it on that stage. So putting yourself at risk to just go do it again. But then again, if you're an Olympian, your brain is hardwired at a way that most of us will
Yep.
never be able to understand.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, it only comes around every 4 years, so they know you get one shot at it. It's not like, "Oh, we can try again next year." No, it's 4 more years, and she's what, 5?
I don't
35? I
know.
mean, I'll pretend like I'm Joe Rogan here. Jeremy, can you look that up for me?
Yeah, we got to get a producer.
Yeah, seriously. She's 41, guys.
41?
Month.
Getting after it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, so, I mean, she would've been 45 the next time it rolls around, and,
Yeah, no.
hey, kudos even at 41 to be that just made my knees hurt just thinking.
Yeah.
Jeez. Last time I went skiing, I realized I was too old
Uh,
for it.
Oh, that was your guys' honeymoon, wasn't it?
It
Yeah.
was. Thank you, Greg, for that, trip, but, yeah, no, I was, like, down that mountain, I was like, "Oh, shit."
Yeah. It's not as easy
So
as it
yeah,
looks, that's for
When you
sure.
and
especially
we
when you
had
only do it, like, once every 10, 15 years.
we had yeah, so you guys were out there for St. Patty's Day. Went to that Irish pub, had some
Oh, yeah.
corned beef and hash. Yeah, good times. Oh,
Yep.
Right.
shout out to the Murphys. They're no longer open anymore, but shout out to Ben, owner of Blue Moon Bakery. When I come back out to Summit, let me get that free morning special.
Our sponsor this week.
Yeah. Yeah. A closed place. Yeah.
Well, no, he's got a
He's got another place.
his grab
Oh,
and go
okay. All right.
breakfast. His grab and
Yeah.
go breakfast spot, the Blue Moon Cafe is like, or Blue Moon Bakery
Yeah.
is like the spot in Summit
Nice.
for coffee and breakfast
Yep.
sandwiches and bagels to hit up on to grab on the way up to the mountain and stuff like that. He's had that place for like 30 plus years up there and employed
Remember,
tons of
audience, next
people.
time you're at Blue Moon Bakery, mention Greg in this show, and you get 10% off your next purchase.
Now we need a lawyer. Love this.
Right?
Perfect.
I was like, there people in Summit might see this. I mean,
Yeah.
you can try,
Right.
but
Yeah.
They were like, "What? Who?
Yeah. Liabilities on
Get
you.
that out of here." All right. Well, yep. Uh, anything else on? Well, I'll say, did any of you guys watch the opening ceremony or anything
Nope.
like that? Nope. It's interesting. Then I'll ramble here a little bit, and then you guys can jump in if you have any thoughts. I enjoy the opening, closing ceremonies at all the Olympics, just the artistry and everything, and celebration of the country's culture. But it also, in a way, gives you this kind of look at world politics when you see the different countries come out. So, I mean, Russia is not able to athletes don't they don't
Represent the flag, right?
compete. Yeah, they don't compete under the Russian flag due to their ban from the Olympics due to cheating, doping scandals from years past. JD Vance was there. When he got announced, he got booed by everyone in the stadium. NBC cut out the audio, apparently, for that. When Israel's teams walked out, they got booed by everybody in the stadium.
Sounds about right.
It was interesting to see that's the world's reactions to how they feel about different things going on with other countries and their representation, that you could see live and not just hear about, oh, I hear this country doesn't like this or this country doesn't like that.
Not filtered through a lens. I think that's tough.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, individuals have their own viewpoints, and
Right.
Yeah.
at least in most countries. And so for somebody who's worked for an athlete, that's Israeli and that's worked so hard to get to that point and not
Yep.
even represent their country, but to be able to represent themselves and then have the booze, thrown upon them, like that's difficult. But also, again, that goes back to people being allowed to speak their mind in free societies and stuff like that. So you're gonna get that. But yeah, I think just on a person to person level, I think that it probably sucked for those athletes
Oh,
who
definitely.
came out there, and like that was
Yeah.
the reaction to everything they did.
Yeah.
But I also think maybe nowadays I feel like the majority of people are pretty self-aware that, like, I mean, I'd like to say that, if I was on the US Olympic team and I walked out and people were booing me, like I'd be self-aware enough to know that they weren't booing me personally. But
Yeah.
I'm also,
I think most of them were.
yeah,
I think based off even post interviews and things like that, when reporters would ask them questions that were meant to go in a political standpoint, they were like, no, I represent this flag, I represent this country, but I don't represent what is currently happening, or don't tie me in with everything that America does.
yeah.
Which, should athletes in those type of situations, should they even have an opinion, or speak their opinions? I know our president doesn't think they should, based off his Truth Socials and things that he was putting out, calling our athletes bums.
Yeah. In that situation, I think if they bring it up, then yes. Like, I mean, it's clearly something that they, on a personal level, feel like they need to speak on and discuss. But if it's just brought up by a reporter, or just it's a question that's asked, I think that's, in my opinion, a little unnecessary. Like, I'm here to perform at the absolute, I mean, obviously we're speaking specifically to the Olympics right now,
Right.
to perform my sport at the highest level humanly possible. And
Correct.
if you want to ask me questions about that, perfect. If I don't want to speak on the other thing, and now I'm not saying this happened because I don't know, but like if somebody asked me that question and I didn't want to talk about it or think I needed to, and then be
Next
painted
question, please.
painted in some way
Yeah.
to be something I like. So
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if that, I doubt that happened. But I think if somebody
No, I
wants to
don't think
speak on it personally,
so.
absolutely. But like just asking questions. So what do you think about A? And it's like, well, now you're just setting me up for,
Yeah. Well, I realized, and I would have lost the trivia question if someone would have asked me, because I was listening to my my Breaking Points news thing, and they were talking about that Olympic situation, about athletes speaking out against the current administration because they were asked, different questions. And as they were delving into it, they kind of notified me and informed me on the information that our government does nothing in contributing to our athletic stuff. It's all corporate and personal donations that puts money towards our athletes going. I would have thought there was some sort of slush fund somewhere. And I would have said, oh, yeah, our government gives a little bit, does something to support it. But from what I was informed, and that's right, Preston, you fact check me here. Our government does not. And so it's all corporate and
Yeah,
Wheaties,
because it ultimately would be a taxpayer item.
Yeah, it would
right?
be a taxpayer expense.
And yeah, it's like I believe the World Cup, like the UN's men's national team, like other teams that we put into international competitions are shaped in the same way.
Yeah.
So I'll just, I don't think we we do not directly fund or financially support USMNT as well, or the U.S. Soccer
Yeah.
Federation. So a lot of these international competitions in the countries that go to it, the U.S. specifically, they set up 1C3 nonprofits and then
Right.
essentially have all these donations come in, and then they're
Mhm.
able to essentially run it as a business that's a nonprofit.
Correct.
But yeah, it will never be a taxpayer line item, because you know what that would cause at the voting booths.
Oh, yeah.
Just another thing to bitch about, right? Yeah, it'll stay like this for a while.
Yeah. No, so, yeah, learned that, and that kinda just, for me, helped solidify that, yes, our athletes should be allowed to say and do whatever they want, because you
Yeah,
can't say, "Oh, you're
100%.
representing us," when we're not actually
Yeah, who's us?
supporting them. Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
they have to pay. So this is the other thing that came up in years past with the athletes that medal, right? That they come back
Mhm.
and then they're hit with taxes on the medals. Do you
On the
remember hearing
medals.
about that?
I think so.
So it's typically there is a tax exemption for that, right? So the ones that make less than $1 million, I think, are not exempt from it. So if you make more, I might be reading this incorrectly. Anyway, there is a tax if you're in a particular income bracket on your medals
Sure.
that you bring back, which is
Huh.
always an interesting thing. Hey, we're
Oh,
barely good.
so I'm on the physical, like gold or silver or bronze, you're taxed
That
on.
thing hanging around their neck. Michael Phelps got
They're
busted.
they're taxed based on their fair market value is how they do it,
Mm.
right? It's
Well,
not on because those metals themselves are not solid gold or solid silver or
No.
anything, so they can't judge it based on like the material. But it's like, what is the market like if you go to sell this somewhere? Oh, this is a gold medal from this Olympics. What would it go for? That's what you pay taxes on.
and that's
Right.
tough too, because like a one that's won by Michael Phelps, as opposed to one who did a cross country skiing,
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
gold medal that nobody knows. Like his is going to go for $100, where one of Phelps is going to go for 100,000, and then vice versa, or not vice versa, but on top of that, like what you talked about, Josh. Was there when you brought up like Michael Phelps? Like my immediate in my head is like, well, that guy makes enough in endorsement deals
Endorsements,
that whatever that
Endorsement.
tax would have been on top of his other income, like
whatever.
negligible. Whereas opposed to the cross country skier,
Yeah.
who's
Who
a
got his one
teacher
medal.
5 days a week, making forty thousand
Yep.
dollars a year. Like, yeah, so
Yep.
interesting. I mean, it's I always find it funny how things like as kids and young adults, like we never thought about the money tax side of things. Where now it's like, how much are they getting taxed on that? How much money does it cost?
Turning into our fathers one day at a
Yeah.
time.
It sucks.
I mean, honestly, just being more educated. I mean, me personally, I'm always open and free to talk about money, what I have, what I don't, what I'm doing, what I'm
Yeah.
saving, how I'm spending. I think that's been such a massive generational, multi-generational
Mhm.
issue, at least here in the US, is or in the US is being being comfortable to talk about money, what you have, what you're
Yep.
doing with it, how you're saving it. And I think there's been a massive shift, to thanks to social media and networking groups and things like this, that's kind of brought it into the forefront. Now there's a lot of bullshit information out there. So
Yep.
anything you see online, kids, vet.
I was gonna
But
say even going back kinda like to the Super Bowl, the amount of TV commercials geared toward crypto or AI and different banking type of new money, type of things of, "Oh, this will help you get ahead in life. Just get
anything
another
that's in the
cash."
mainstream, just know that it's not built for you to be successful.
Yep.
Right.
Somebody's already been
I'm
successful
not
with it.
saying all of it. Yeah. And well, somebody's already been successful with it and they're paying to put it in front of you because they're going to
Yep.
make more money off of it than you are. It's the
Yep.
things that aren't talked about that you have to go kind of figure out and find out for yourselves that are actually going to do something. But the biggest and easiest thing is put money into a long-term ETF and watch compound interest do its work. If that's all you can do, $100 a month, put it into a low cost index fund,
Yep.
and doesn't matter
Let it
how
ride.
old you are either. I'll wax poetically about it. I'm no expert by any means, and I didn't start till I was in my mid 30s. And when I started, I had $400 to my name, living as a
Yeah.
ski
Yeah.
bum. But
Hey, it's better to start late than never, so
Yep.
Well, let's see here.
Yeah, drive us to the next place, Josh.
All right. Well, going kind of Olympic talk then. Here's a secondary. So the next Olympic Games are going to be Summer Games in LA. They are going to be introducing for the first time flag football. My question to you, astute gentlemen, should NFL players be the ones representing flag football, or should it be the people that have been playing flag football in these leagues?
Yeah, how is that set up? So I'm not familiar with. I saw that they're bringing flag football to the Olympics, but how is the player set up? Is are you saying that they're taking players from the NFL to play in this flag football league?
They are allowed. When they said that, hey, we're going to allow flag football into the league, no restrictions. The NFL came out and said, hey, we will allow our players, if they want to be in it, they can be in it. Because sometimes, kind of like the NBA going to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Summer
yeah.
Olympics too, they might say, hey, we don't want our athletes getting injured in
Right.
this, so we're just going to let the younger guys, the G League and stuff like that go. So it's, I mean, obviously when it gets closer, I'm sure it'll be talked about more, but it's just something I've kind of followed a little bit of. And I know there are people, I don't
Let's
watch flag football on ESPNU, so I mean, I couldn't tell you, but I know there has been people that are in those leagues that have come out saying, "Hey, now we can't do it because, you know,
so
Jackson Smith Naku,
I really just want to
the
see the
big butt is gonna play."
qualification process for flag football, though. I think that's where I'm in the dark here. How do you qualify, right? Show me that, and then we can talk about who should or shouldn't play.
Yeah, they had like the other countries, like what qualification tournaments does that look like? And
Right.
I mean, at the heart of the Olympics, it was always the amateur competition. Like,
Correct.
Yeah.
obviously, that's due to money
Yeah.
and TV marketing and all that stuff. It's changed to obviously we want to get the best people involved. Like, obviously,
Mhm.
because prior to 1990s, or was it 92? The was that Barcelona when the Dream Team got kind
Oh
of
yeah.
Right.
kicking it to the basketball. It was always
Yep.
college players. It was
Yeah.
Correct.
never the pros. But I think it was the U.S. Maybe I don't know if I don't know when basketball was introduced to the Olympics, but I imagine it was probably much earlier because basketball has been pretty popular here in Europe at least since the early 80s. Um, but that's ups like, basketball is really the only, like, where they have professional leagues. Like, that's really
Mhm.
the only sport where that's happened, at least for US representatives, where the professionals at a high level have gone on to play that sport, and I think that's where that flag football thing kinda lies, is, like, it's just like with basketball, like, the US is the only country on the planet that has a flag football league,
Right.
Yeah.
where, like, that's
That's
even a question of should we let the NFL players perform in it. And so it's definitely a country specific question because
Correct.
anybody else who's involved, like they're just putting the
They're
top
rugby players.
20, yeah, top 20 guys that they can put together in this sport that's
Mhm.
very rarely played. Like I imagine it'll be like those sports where even if it's flag football league players here in the US, like I can't see any other team coming close because even those guys at that level probably all played college football for like
right.
minimum D2, D3 level, and they've
Yep.
been playing it since they were in diapers. Whereas opposed to any country outside of the U.S., they've been playing it for 10 years max.
Right.
It's a win
Right.
for the companies that do flag football, right? That's how I saw this again. Like from
Representation, yeah.
an economic perspective, it's like, oh, you got it in the Olympics. Now you're on an international stage, and all of these companies that don't have the flag football infrastructure that US does, if they want to go
Yeah.
to the Olympics for it, now they're going to have it. So for me, it's a money thing for them.
And I'm sure in the background, the NFL is probably putting some money even behind that for other countries because they've been
Yeah.
pushing the international NFL games hard the
Yes,
last
they
couple of
have.
years. And I think next year they're supposed to have like international games, including one that's like a playoff type of thing or something. Like it's supposed to be a big one. So, which is another reason why it made total sense for them to get somebody like Bad Bunny to perform because they're
Right.
not talking about our audience. They're talking about
Yeah.
he's there for the international community to get them
Well,
involved
yeah, and
into our
going back
sport.
to that, like, the NFL doesn't like that. There was no political
No,
thing
it's all money.
in their thinking. Like the posts and the articles and things you see, like it's a political statement. Roger Goodell doesn't give a shit about either side. I mean, personally, he
No.
might. If
Yeah.
all he cares about is profit,
Yeah.
and he knows that the biggest artist on the planet, which be Bad Bunny is by far, is going to draw
Yeah.
eyeballs. I mean,
Yep.
I think it will continue no matter who, not necessarily maybe no matter who the artist is, but viewership ratings are always going to increase because it's just now easier
Yep.
and to be wherever you are to watch something. Like I one of my local sports radios guys back in Tallahassee, I listen to him a couple times a week when I'm at the gym, and that's what he's saying is like because now everybody can watch it on a phone, an iPad, your
Yep.
laptop, your computer, and your TV, and now they're
Yep.
finally figuring out how to track all of those different ways as opposed to just like the old school Nielsen ratings. So
Yep. Exactly.
going back to flag football, there's going to be 6 teams in the Olympics. So the U.S. makes it as the host nation. So I guess they
Okay.
have that set up similar to like the World Cup, where the host nation. And so there's going to be men's and women's teams. So
Okay.
there's 3 different paths to qualification. There's the World Championships. Then the top 2 teams, excluding the U.S., are going to qualify directly. That's August of this year. In 2027, there's going to be the Continental Championships, where no direct spots, but the top 2 from each continent advance to the final qualifier. And then there'll be an Olympic qualifier series in the spring of 2028 prior to the Olympics, where the top 3 teams from the last chance tournament take the final spots.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. I don't know.
I mean, it's to
I
me
have
like
no thoughts.
it's not interesting to watch. Like for me, like I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the draw to this? I don't know.
like you said, money. Clearly the Olympics, the IOC has done the data
Yeah.
research and to see that there's going to be eyeballs on it.
Yep.
Because like again, any of these like probably FIFA, IOC, all of these decisions are made around revenue, and so clearly
Correct.
there's been enough data that they
Well, shoot. I
pulled
mean,
together
So
to show that there's going to be
you live
eyeballs.
around there and you get told, hey, there's going to be a flag, the Olympic flag football thing's going to be here. And guess what? These 5 different NFL superstars, one of which plays for your NFL team that you haven't been able to see before, you can go watch them at this. I mean, people are going to watch it just because it's the people they recognize in this particular setting.
But all of this tells me what the next sport is going to be that's going to enter the Olympics, and it's going to be in the Summer
Beer pong.
Olympics. And no, it's going to be cornhole. Like that is because that
That's-
has a very similar structure that we're just talking through with flag football.
Yeah.
It has all of those world championships and all that set up. So they're going to lobby for that, and we're going to see cornhole in the Summer Olympics.
The interesting
I'm
thing is
surprised darts
because with
hasn't made it in.
the Olympics, because like it's one in, one out. Like they're
Right,
maxed
correct.
out at events.
They
They
have to
don't just
change
add
now.
on. So like, I don't know what they're getting rid of. I mean, hopefully breakdancing because that was that was not great.
I was trying to think of, you
Man.
could be right on that.
Yeah.
That may have been the
It's
one
horrible.
that they're interchanging the 2, and then they're going to look at it next time. All right, which one was more popular, breakdancing or flag football? And we'll keep that one.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the sports here.
Remove the first one. Remove sport breakdancing.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So new sports that are going to be making their debut in 2028: flag football. Squash is making its debut after decades of lobbying. Cricket is returning for the first time since 1900. Thank goodness
That's a
for
big
that.
sport. Yeah, that's a big world
Yeah,
sport.
I mean it is. I mean, massive
Yeah.
worldwide. Lacrosse is coming back, 6v6 format. So I imagine it'll be like an indoor type
Yeah.
lacrosse. Which
Yep.
for me, that one's interesting. Lacrosse, I know a lot about. Growing up in upstate New York, in Syracuse, they in the 80s and the 90s were one of the top college programs. But like
Yep.
in the whole entirety of the Southeast, when I moved to Florida in 1994, lacrosse didn't exist down there.
Yeah.
It,
Hmm.
it was actually an old Native American sport. Is where the
Yeah.
origins of it were. So it's interesting that that's turned into a worldwide Olympic sport. I didn't realize it was done anywhere else. And then baseball and softball will be returning since being left out since 2024 in Paris.
Yeah, baseball's definitely a worldwide one. I mean,
Yeah.
that happens every year.
Yeah, I think and World Baseball Classics about to kick off as well.
Yeah. Huh. Very interesting. Well, I know we're getting close to 12, getting off early today. Any last things?
I'm sure there's more stuff that we could have talked politics wise, but
I was trying to
I
keep it sport
Yeah, I'm
focused
glad. I'm
today.
I
glad we.
appreciate it
Longer
because
format next time.
yeah, some of the hearings and stuff this week, there's a lot to talk about and impact there.
The
but
Dow's up 50,000 points.
yeah,
Itches.
there's just too much to talk about, right? And it's more the it goes back to I think some of the things that we talked about in our very first pods where these institutions and structures we have set up,
Yeah.
things like the UN and the respect and formalities that are within all of those. This week just kind of reminded me of British Parliament. Like British Parliament, they just fucking yell and scream at each other. That's where we are right now.
Yeah.
They are kicking out their politicians right now, though. They're
Well,
Yeah.
and
they're
that's
going harder
that's
than
the
we
difference is, for Parliament, it's like, yeah, you can have the food fights every day,
are.
but
Yeah.
you usually get your ass voted out. But we don't have those same structures. So if we're moving
Yeah.
to that, we should probably look at that. But it's just there's too much to talk about there. So I'm
That's
saying
the
I
thing.
appreciate that we didn't talk about it.
No. I could have gone on for a long time.
Yeah,
I've been watching my stuff. Even today on the drive home, I was
it's wild,
watching.
man.
Well, all of our viewers, drop in the comments section, give us thoughts, ideas, things that you'd like us to talk about and wax poetically on to help
There you
us,
go.
let us know what you guys wanted to hear.